We are live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Joe, do you know why some businesses succeed and some businesses fail? Why some businesses grow and some businesses don't? That's what this show is all about. Business, business, business. This is the one time I wish I had really long hair so I could just swing it to that music and,
every
like one
time.
of those
That's right.
grunge guys from like the 90s.
Good way to start a Saturday.
It's a good way to start your Saturday.
Get a good wig.
It is wakey. Now, before we start, there's two things I want to touch on. Oh, stop it. One, we have a new show that airs on 4 o'clock Eastern, which New York City time, everybody, if you're listening around the planet. It's all about Scotch. So there's a new show we have. It's called, David, what's it called?
It's called, well, I can't pronounce it in Vietnamese, but in English we call it Barley and Bliss.
Right, but it's ROUO, if I'm not mistaken, is if you'll see the ad, and it's a very intelligent young lady that was on our show last week.
That's right.
Lindu. She is going to be doing Scotch reviews every week, 4 o'clock Eastern. So before you go out and get drunk with your mates on Wall Street, you can go watch a Scotch review and go figure out what Scotch you should try and whatnot. So so she's going to be doing that every Friday. So that'll be kind of fun. Every Friday. So we'll put the link below in the
clarify the fact that it's about whiskey and not about her relationship with people from Scotland. Just to be clear.
I mean, it could be that.
It could be that. We don't know. There's going to be video. And the other thing is, someone, and I was telling David this earlier, someone said I was pretty yesterday, and I found that very flattering. Yeah. And then David asked me the context of it, and I said, well, what the whole sentence was, they said they found me pretty annoying. But I told David I was looking at this as a positive because they used the word pretty. I just took out the rest of the stuff.
Take off the rest.
Yeah, that's right. The rest of it, that's
annoying,
right.
Huh? Wow.
And the other thing, of course, that particular person had sunglasses and a white stick. But
that's right. That's true. And he has a big, funny hat and funny little shoes and lives in Rome. It's a whole thing. But anyway, and likes little boys, allegedly. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Now that we've got the levity out of the way and we promoted our new show. We have another new show on Sunday. It's called Vicky in Real Life. I think it's her travel vlog. We've got a dog show on Sundays now as well. So if you come to our channel on Sundays you have yoga, Vicky in Real Life, and a yoga show, and a dog show, I'm sorry. So I think that all starts around 7 a.m. Eastern time and goes through about 10 or 11 Eastern time. So there's all new shows coming to the channel. So yeah, hope everybody enjoys this. Yeah.
A lot of good shows. Popping up. Big goals.
You guys host all of them?
One. I'm sorry?
You guys host both of them?
None of them. We're not in the yoga show. That's with Diesel, and that's been on for about 3 weeks. We're not in the doggy show. That's done with dogs. They host it themselves. They're very talented. Some of them have thumbs. And Vicky in Real Life, neither David and I have had a sex change. So Vicky is from Social Intercourse is actually that. She's a whole travel vlog and everything. It's very cool. We're very excited for Vicky.
All right.
So it should be a good show.
Well,
and an AI show coming as well.
Yeah, that'll air actually after this show. On Saturday mornings, which then after that will air No Snobs or Knobs. So we have our Saturday, Sunday lineups.
So there's lots of stuff happening, and we're not on any of them. So that's a real pleasure for a lot of people who regularly come to the channel due to all the shows that Stephen and I
weekends.
Yeah, just go to the playlist and you can find the little thumbnail and you can go watch whatever you would like. I think we have a new show coming out that John's going to star in. Bambi does it for $1. Anyway. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I mean, talking about AI girlfriends are all the rage.
Ooh.
All the rage, not all over the GPT store, OpenAI's GPT store, right. But all over Asia, where there's a crisis in the ratio of men to women.
Right.
And David actually sent us an article about AI-powered influencers, which are tangentially related to these AI girlfriend bots. So we'll talk about
that last week, right? Emily Pellegrino. We had Emily Pellegrino last week.
Yeah, it was on No Snobs and Knobs where you
I'm sorry.
But we could touch on that as well. But
okay. And then we've got one of our favorite topics, China. Now there was a very powerful video that I sent around to the group on YouTube about China being a paper tiger. Is it a paper tiger? They usually accused us of being a paper tiger for many years, and now it seems like the tables are turning, with Bloomberg writing an article about how China's military has a lot of graft and might not be as strong as it's purported to be. And we'll definitely touch on that. And then we'll touch on Apple's aggressive third-party payments ruling. They have new rules to make it very difficult to use a third-party payment processor instead of Apple's processing on the App Store. And is this just part of their monopolistic behavior? Is this something that is actually doing things to protect the Apple ecosystem? We'll have a discussion around that.
That'll be exciting.
Get the freedom and the flexibility of remote work in the lucrative tech industry. Bend your life around the world. Bandicoot is the premier course and community for thriving in a remote tech career. Join the revolution today. Bandicoot.com, official partner of the Lost Dollar Business Club.
And we're back.
So I'm looking at a screenshot of someone searching for girlfriend on OpenAI's GPT store.
Yeah.
And it comes up with a huge number of just Korean girlfriend, virtual sweetheart, your girlfriend Scarlett, Judy, global language girlfriend, everyone's girlfriend, and much more.
Everyone's girlfriend. I dated a girl like that once. Everyone's girlfriend. So here's my question. And I mean, I understand that people under, let's just say 40, you're pussies. I got it. Like your mommy told you were special and, you live in the basement still. I get that. But wouldn't you rather have sex with a real live flesh human being than to chat with some female AI thing? I don't get this at all.
That's the thing.
Why even chat with
Steve,
it?
They're not having sex.
The
They're not having sex, and they want some form of interaction, some form of social intercourse with a female.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy. Why? Let them get married. They won't want that. I mean, no, they'll want that a lot. But
remember, I mean, if you look at what's happening in Korea and Japan, they're not even. I mean, there's a huge trend of not even getting involved with girlfriends because they consider it too difficult, too socially difficult, too messy, and they just want to stay on the sexbot / GPT store girlfriend track. And is that pervasive in the rest of the world? Is that pervasive in the United States? I mean, obviously, if it's on the OpenAI store.
In the United States, I think they did a survey, and I think I read it, and I forgot who did it, but they were saying that like kids, I call them kids, people under 25 to like just say 15 to 25, or there's more virgins now than ever. They don't want to be virgins, and I'm like, what the fuck? We really are becoming a society of pussies? I mean, we don't want to have sex. I mean, I don't want to be rude or anything, but sex is a fun thing.
Problem.
It's a case of not wanting to have
John had sex once. Wasn't it fun for you? You remember? You were by yourself. It was scary, but you had sex, So, but I'm just saying, it's crazy, right? Why? What is this whole thing?
Why do it?
Yeah.
Why do it? And these are all banned by AI's policy. You're not supposed to have GPTs dedicated to romantic companionship.
Right.
But they're doing it anyway. Very difficult to regulate.
Yeah,
it's
because it's big business. And we spoke about this on Snobs and Knobs, Stephen, didn't we? This Italian woman, of which the creator didn't sort of hide the fact that she wasn't real. But yeah, billionaires want to go out with her. Some German footballers fall in love with her. And she's making like 10 grand a month, 10,000 euros a month. Of people
contributing towards Emily Pellegrino is her name. David showed a picture last week's. If you want to go look at Snobs and Knobs, that's toward the end of the show. Yeah. This week's Snobs and Knobs, that's on after this. David had showed a 3-foot sex doll that because you can't have a 6-foot sex doll because the 3-foot one is easier to hide from your mother when you live in the basement. So if you put that together with this Emily Pellegrino, which is an AI girl, and this other thing, it's like, why? Like, so we really are becoming Ready Player One. Put on a headset and never go out into the world.
Yeah, but you hope it's not everybody. You know, this is
definitely not me.
The problem is there's this. The article talks about something that's been talked about a lot, is this epidemic of loneliness and isolation. Right. Now, why are people lonely and isolated? I mean, they're not doing the work to get out of the house.
Right. I mean, like, just get out of the house and go. Like, it's funny. In our neighborhood, I see more delivery cars for supermarket stuff, like shopping, and then you see the Grubhub for food delivery. When it's time to eat or go shopping, we leave the house. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't sit in the house. The house is like a place to go sleep and the other thing. That's it. I mean, I want to be out and play golf and, smoke cigars with the boys. And these people don't do that anymore. They've gotten to a condition where it's like, which the government must love, never leave the house.
Maybe they don't have the money to do that.
Yeah, but
you can't go for a walk,
and they don't feel safe. Yeah, I mean, okay, we're all old fuddy duddies, and
speak for yourself.
Apart from Michael, of course, who's nearly an old fuddy duddy. But, it's like it was quite normal to we'd go out and play, and everybody go around and see if mates would go out and play. But we don't see, even now, and I live in a quiet neighborhood where there's mostly older people. They're the only people that are out and about. There are lots of young
kids don't
people.
Play anymore.
Yeah, kids don't play. There's just old people out walking the dogs and walking when I go through the woods in the morning off of my walk. Just older people.
Yeah.
So, it's almost as if there's this inbuilt fear, that they're going to be raped or pillaged or both, or
you can only hope.
Shot. Shot. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's this. Yeah. Also here as well, we have a tradition in Holland where kids would go to school, high school kids, or even the last year primary school, high school kids would go to school on their bikes. And now you see a lot of them get taken, not all of them, but a higher percentage than ever. Mum and dad takes them because they consider it to be safer. Yeah. I mean, who's isolating themselves?
Or get that too. Take the bus, be with other kids, be with other people, take public transportation, ride your bike.
Yep.
It seems like it's just.
John.
It's good. It's good for clickbait, but I'm just wondering how many, actual people are involved with these. Let's say
girlfriends.
Let's find out. Psychologically, conflicted people.
But seven. So in the U.S. though, 7 of the top 30 AI chatbot apps.
Yeah.
In 2023, 7 of them were AI friends or girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So people are using. These are the top. 7 of the top 30 are AI girlfriends and friends.
Okay, just to give you an idea. Yeah. Just to give you an idea. Okay, this month alone, there was 49,500 hits asking how do I find an AI girlfriend, which doesn't sound like a lot. And this is just for the U.S. But if you start extrapolating that globally, that's a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's just here. Because I just asked for the U.S.
A lot of very lonely people. I mean,
that's what it is.
We could laugh about it, but it's we should be terrified for them. That they live in a world where their only contact is via what we're doing, social media, or through the screen,
And just so you know, on a global level, millions. It says millions of people are using AI girlfriends, and millions of people are searching for girlfriends that talk to you, to love you, allow you to live out your erotic fantasies, and learn through data. What the fuck? What it's like. This is what it says. And you can extract what you want to learn, creating the perfect relationship. The virtual girlfriend can even be based on real people. Go blow me. What a bunch of bullshit. You little pansies. Get outside, jerk off, go find somebody and go get a hooker. Jesus Christ, I'll pay for it. So.
What's going to happen, of course, is that technology is going to be integrated into these sex dolls, which are becoming more and more and more advanced. Yeah. And then you have like the best or the worst of the two worlds as they collide.
Well, I will tell you this: at Hilda's House of Pain. At Hilda's House of Pain, we have a strict policy of no AI. So you get a real woman who beats you. That's right. No bots. You get a real woman who's just going to beat you because you deserve it. And if you come there and tell them you need an AI girlfriend, they beat you even harder. So, I mean, I like that. But this is so, you know what? This is how pathetic this is. This is what The Economist, the Financial Times, this is what people are talking about. AI girlfriends. This, with everything going on the planet, this is what we're. Yeah. If an alien race decides they want to take over, come, please.
I think pointing out the patheticism of it is not. I haven't seen the word pathetic in any of these articles.
Really? Let me write one.
Right. Well,
it's making too much money, Michael, for that. I think.
Yeah. Well, you can't say it. Listen, if we had an AI girlfriend show on our channel. And we had 50 million viewers because she was the hottest thing and did blah, blah, blah. We would be I'm sure our whole tune would be, oh no, it's the greatest thing in the world. You should see XYZ on our channel, right? But it's just, there's got to be human interaction. Like, I don't want.
Well, that's the idea.
Right? But there's not human interaction. I'm typing or talking to my computer. Go watch porn, man.
And that's the thing. How is that even? So the question is, they're saying, some of these guys are saying, well, we're helping millions of people who are isolated or lonely. But I don't understand how that's a solution.
Yeah, you're making them more isolated and more lonely.
Doesn't it make it worse?
Yeah. What they need to do is at the end of every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes, there should be a little thing that pops up that says, please contact, Dr. So-and-so for therapy services.
Right. Yeah. Put an ad in there.
But I think actually Stephen hit the nail on the head. We're sitting here being all righteous about it. But if we owned a company that had all this stuff that was making in 10 grand a month per girlfriend.
Hey, right.
I wouldn't be any. Well, I would be lonely because I'd be sitting under a coconut tree somewhere on my own.
Well, this is a group. We have principles at the Lost Dollar Business Club, and we are not going to run. We are not going to run a $30,000 a month AI chatbot.
That's right. That's a sex girl. However, if you have a demand for it, let us know. Our principles and morals can be bought. Right? We could change our principles and morals just like that. Don't even worry about it. We can be bought.
But then of course, we'll have a new show called "We Found That Dollar Business Club." So
we
found their job. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words, and I think part of this is when we were kids, if you wanted to watch porn, you couldn't. Because you had to, you couldn't go to the XXX theater. You were too young. If your dad had a Playboy, you got to look at that and you're like, oh my God, it was awesome, right? And then all of a sudden the internet came out, let's just say around the year 99, 2000, in that ballpark where the internet speeds got faster. It wasn't AOL, where the porn would take 6 hours to download. Now it's like going to a movie. So whether you're 10 years old or 110, but my point though is you can watch porn now. So I think a lot of these people that are doing AI girlfriends, and you can do AI porn that tell you what you want. But I think what it is now is that people have unrealistic expectations and they don't know what to do. Back in the day, like they taught sex education in school. They don't do that anymore because God forbid the parents will have a heart attack. So we don't teach our kids anything.
Do they not do that? I didn't know that.
They don't teach sex education.
Now this is all males, right? This is all males.
Oh no, there are virtual boyfriends. There are virtual boyfriends. There's one called Boyfriend Ben. Ben.
I think they should do like in Israel. They should send 18-year-olds. We should put them send them to the army for 2 years. Give them a little dose of
real training.
Yeah.
Yeah, or join the Argentinian Air Force and learn how to fly. You know, that sort of
Yeah.
Oh boy.
They look for Nazi gold.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Hey,
I mean,
yeah. Look, Millet gave a pretty tough speech at the Davos, and basically said to all of the attendees that look, we got to stop this socialist shit because we're gonna die basically if we continue down this path. They had a little mild applause because they're all,
wow.
Yeah.
Just a mild applause, huh?
Just
Yeah.
mild applause.
That's good.
That's okay. The whole
Anti-socialist
all of
applause, that's
Davos, most of Davos has been on AI. Like every article from The Economist, the Financial Times, even the stuff I've watched is all AI is taking over the world. AI is going to do, no shit. And now AI is going to take over the weak of mind as their lover, boyfriend, girlfriend. And I just looked up the numbers for AI boyfriends. It doesn't have a number for that because apparently women understand that they could be rug munchers and they don't need cock. Or they can go buy a toy and they don't need something talking to them. So if I listen, they know they're rug munchers. So that's it. But my point is that apparently men have no clue, and women once again are still smarter because they're using the AI boyfriend, but could care less. But they're getting laid.
That situation. They've got to. They've got to wake up. They've got to wake up.
Yep. All right. Before we change topic, David, let's run the AI commercial. Because
run
that's
the
just
AI
apropos, and then we can go right into China.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And this is our AI sex bot commercial, so please no, that's a sponsor. So
yes, it is. This is the one everybody has to watch.
Making the right connections is vital to your business and professional success, but reaching out to strangers is awkward and mostly a waste of time and resources. Imagine a world where AI takes the hassle out of networking. Enter Hero, your noise-free professional network powered by AI. What's so cool about Hero? How about getting your own AI networking assistant that's dedicated to solving your challenges by handpicking connections and opportunities that are right for you? But Hero does more than just meaningful matchmaking. We equip you with a customized storefront accessible to anyone on or off the Hero network to help enhance your brand and boost your revenue, making it easy to turn those meaningful connections into valued customers, all within Hero. Hero is networking as it should be, meaningful conversations with well-meaning people without the noise.
All right.
there you go.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, they don't have any sex spots on that.
No sex spots on Hero.
We are on that. TOF Entertainment, and I'm on that. So now, later today, I will put female sex spots on it for the losers that need to get laid by AI. So there you go. But AI, I will say about Hero, I've used it. It's very interesting. And as they grow, I think it's going to be a LinkedIn killer. So I'm very excited about that. So
wow. All right. Big claim.
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, big thing. It is, yeah. So
well, look. So talking about AI, I mean, China. There's a lot of interesting stuff on YouTube about the inside scoop on what's really going on in China, and part of that was the AI girlfriends, the fact that there's a lack of women, a dearth of women because of the one-child policy, but now there's even talk about, and Bloomberg featured an article on this, about some of the graft and corruption that has led to the weakening of China's military, that the corruption is so bad that you have tanks that are full of water instead of fuel, that you have missiles that are not functional, missile bay doors that don't work because people have been stealing and taking from the kitty. That's rough.
The best part about that is they can't invade Taiwan. So if I was Taiwan now, I'd go invade China. Fuck you. So there you go.
Let's go the other way. Yeah.
Let's just go the other way. Let's go. Listen, we have an army, and our shit works. So.
Yeah, that's
I have my doubts that it's a truth. That it's that bad. But,
I think it's a nice piece of propaganda for the Chinese.
Yeah, to sort of say, we can relax. They got all the problems.
That's a good point. I thought about that too, and I mean the right thing is that these articles, whether it's in Bloomberg or in Defense Connector, they talk about you can't. I mean, just because if that's true, regardless of whether it's true, you still have to maintain your posture, and it just emphasizes that you need to be more aware of it. And maybe it's one thing to not be as concerned about it, but it's another thing to weaken yourself. And I don't think that's I don't think that's what anybody's calling for, but I think it's kind of a normalizing of what's going on to say what's really happening in China. If this is getting out, what else is really going on? I mean, who knows?
I think
Yeah.
if you have to be leery of anybody who has nuclear capability, because regardless if your tank is full of water and the door doesn't open, you still have things that go boom, and they make big boom. So to me, that's what I'm more leery about. Than I'm not so much worried about that you can't drive your tank, if you will, over to Taiwan or your fighter jets. I'm more worried about somebody pisses you off, or Missile Boy in North Korea pushes a button, then China's like, well, we might as well push buttons. And granted, let's say 50% of their doors don't open, but the other 50% does. Those are a lot of doors that are opening. So that's where I'm more worried about that than I'm worried about an invasion, with an old-fashioned invasion of tanks and guys on the ground and airplanes dropping bombs. I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm more worried about the nuclear
Why
threat.
is the US obsessed with China? You think the Chinese are going to invade the US? I mean,
No, we have to be obsessed with something.
Well,
yeah,
it's
the West.
it's an explicit threat. It's an explicit threat on the liberal order of the West. So I would be concerned about it.
So is Trump, but he's going to become president unless he goes to jail.
Exactly.
So I don't see anybody worried about that.
No,
Businesses are all excited about embracing
He's
it.
not going to jail because God has chosen him. Remember?
Oh, I
This
forgot.
is
Yes,
what
God chose Trump. Yeah.
some wackos have said that.
Yeah, look, the Chinese latest, I don't know, I forget where I read this, but they lead in 37 key industries, and the West is left with, or the U.S. is about 7. So at some point they could use that leverage,
They are, John. They're using it in Australia, and they used it in France with embargoes.
Hey, you want to know what leverage
is?
You want to know what leverage is? Is that all of the top internet storage companies, big data storage companies in the world are all American. That's what leverage is all about.
Yes, sure.
That's what you should be concerned. You should be concerned about that. In Europe we're concerned about it. But what we're going to do? Oh, we'll have a meeting. That's the thing. See, that's what's going to happen. I mean, we had a Dutch general came out yesterday. He said, start now building your bunker, and start getting your supplies together, because within 20 years, Russia will invade the whole of Europe.
Well, they're doing that now.
Well,
because
the whole of Europe, huh?
He said, what's the difference is between the NATO and the Russians, he said, is that the Russians will start their big offensive with dropping a nuclear bomb. Doesn't have to be a big one, but they'll drop one. They'll do it first. And what will NATO do? They'll have a meeting as to how they're going to deal with it after it's happened.
Right.
So you're already on the back foot. So, yeah, if you guys are worried about, Chinese warships coming into ports in America, that's never going to happen. Come on.
No, but it's more of a threat around the maintaining control of the Pacific Rim and trade routes and
well, America being its imperial self again. You mean just looking after?
It's done a good job of protecting global
the
trade.
world. Yeah, we've actually. I will say one thing for us: we have protected global trade. The issue is that
have you?
China represents.
Tell all the Maersk ships and the non-American ships that are going through the Red Sea at the moment. Where's the protection there?
There's stuff there. We have ships there in the Red Sea.
Yeah, that's a tinderbox happening. Yeah, you're right. There's some real threats that are happening there, but again, the U.S. is responding. The U.S. is responding.
Look, David. When you're in power, you don't want to give it up to somebody else who's going to tell you how to.
Exactly.
Roll.
And that's what it's about, John, is it not?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
The fact that Uncle Sam is being sort of edged off his seat by somebody from China.
No, but it's a communist China. It's not just another Western country. We're talking about
communist China, imperialist USA. What's the difference?
Oh, Democrat.
The way you spell it. Communist is with a C. Imperialist has an I in it. That's so you know.
True. I stand corrected. or in this
Thank you
case,
very
I
much.
sit corrected.
This is, if this is imperialism, this is a very different imperialism than we've ever seen before, because it has spread so much wealth and so much peace for so long that it's a very different kind of imperialism.
At what? Yeah. What? Oh, okay.
At what cost?
Yeah.
Right.
At what cost?
No, you're right. There's a cost to it. But the other issue you're going to have right now, and I mean, like, and just looking at America, and you're calling we're a democracy. We're a democracy until November 4th of 2024. And then on November 5th, we are not a democracy if Trump wins. I hate to tell you this.
And then up until that point, it's you're one big, one big podcast. What's the word? A Punch and Judy show. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, well, we are a Punch and Judy show.
I mean, it's like a lot of young people who are consistently out saying that America is this terrible place and this terrible country. Right. There's a lot of lack of gratitude for how much peace there actually is in the world, and how commerce is actually a rule. You talk about a rule-based order, what that really means, because when you don't have it, as it's fraying at the edges right now, people are going to be very unhappy.
It's misspelled, Michael. It's not a ruled-based order. It's an oil-based order. Where there's oil, the US flexes its imperial muscles, and that's done right from the get-go. And now the whole world order is changing, and you guys don't quite know how to deal with it. Well, apart from
nobody knows how to deal with it. That's the problem.
We don't have a. The US is the number one producer of crude oil in the world. We don't have a problem with self-sufficiency. We got natural gas up the wazoo. I mean, we don't have an energy issue. It's so the idea that
So why would you want to go and steal it from everybody else then?
We're not stealing it from everybody else.
It's a matter of maintaining some sanity in a very unstable part of the world. So that you can, because the entire economy is based on petroleum. We can't deny that.
Right.
The modern economy, it's in chemicals, it's in plastics, it's in fuel. That there has to be stability in the energy markets in order to have a stable economy, right?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's why the tech companies are trying now to get all this other stuff, which still uses oil. So that's why, we've talked about this.
Oh, the green energy still uses a lot of
oil. Oh yeah, of course. That's why. But everybody's saying, it goes back to what we've always said. If you really want to get away from petroleum and you want to do this, you want to do that, because it's going to run out, just say by 2050, then you better really figure out what solar and wind can do for you and make the shit now. You know what I mean?
It's going to happen yesterday. Yeah.
It's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And anytime there's a problem, to John's point, yes, we come in and we make sure that the oil is protected. When OPEC did what it did in '72, where it took it from 25 cents a gallon to $1, talking about that was like, oh my God. Now people pay $3, $4, $5, $6 a gallon, or even like $10 a liter globally, and it's sort of like it is what it is. It is going to be a continental divide. But to what China's trying to do, China, I think, is waking up. The Napoleon said, "Don't wake up the sleeping dragon, because you're not going to like what happens." And it woke up. Mao got it to go to Mao was there. Then Deng Xiaoping came in, and he was a capitalist. Full stop. And if it wasn't Deng Xiaoping, you would not have the China you have today. And all these guys are, if you will, dictators, but they are trying to be the top kid on the block, and that's where we're heading. And the U.S. isn't going to be able to stay there unless you want to go to war, because a kingdom, if you will, a superpower only lasts up to 50 to 200 years historically. Well, we're getting close to our mark, so at some point someone's going to topple us, and it's okay not to be a superpower. We can still be a power, but let's help our people. Now, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next, say, 3 to 5 years. But I don't think America's going to be able to hold we are a superpower unless there is going to be a war, because we're going to have to show our dominance. And we're not going to be able to do it with a bunch of idiots in the White House.
You guys, just got to build that wall and keep your bloodlines clean.
The military is prepared for 2.5 wars. They keep saying that the U.S.
2.5 wars. What kind of wars?
2.5 wars in the half being in the Middle East, one being in Europe, and one being in
and do you know why they know that? Because they did some sort of simulation on a computer.
Yeah, they always do.
You know,
an AI computer.
We can win that. That's fine.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's. I don't know. That's classified above my pay grade. So
that's
I'm
right.
not sure.
That's right. That's on our other show called Classified.
Yeah.
Above Michael's pay grade.
That would be a good show.
Yeah, that will be definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, John. You got a final comment on it?
So back to the China article that their paper tiger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think we want to test that.
I agree.
That possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to test it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really wants to get into that kind of conflict.
It's a dick measuring contest, and I think as a society globally, countries and leaders, they need to stop with "I have the biggest dick in the room," and they really need to figure out how we make this place better for everybody instead of religious preference or right. Like enough of this bullshit. And I've been saying this since I was a kid, and I say it now. We're going to just kill each other for stupidity.
That's the first chapter they read. You know, become a dictator, and by default you have the biggest dick in the room. So they don't get to the second chapter. Make everything nice for everybody. Oh, sorry, that's communism.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something about that really quick. If North Korea, when the son took over from the dad, the grandfather, whatever, if he would have changed the way he was doing things, like fed his people and did whatever and blah 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 blah.
Right.
It would be a different, like people would look at that and go, like, that's a utopia.
They had electricity. If they had electricity.
But they're still following the old school, which is like, fuck everybody unless you're the elite. And we don't really care. And it's sort of like,
I mean, again, if you think it's bad here, there's plenty to say that there's some very serious economic divides in China and other economies like that. So
even though Asia's growing, Vietnam is growing, Taiwan is growing. It's all right. They're sprouting, and that's the other reason I don't want to find out if China's a paper tiger, because while those civilizations, while those countries are growing, it's phenomenal, right? Because it's helping economically their country, global trade, blah blah blah. So you don't want to find out, but
you don't want to disrupt. They're going to be caught in the crossfire.
Everybody is, and that's the problem. Like, because China's doing that now with France and Australia. When they're pissing off you, they don't like your policy, so they do an economic embargo on whatever it's going to be, and they're screwed. And that's why depending on one country, America, to supply shit is a very bad thing. Bring back, every now and then it'd be good to actually produce something in America.
That's right.
Other than AI chatbots for little 15
we're going to
25-year-old guys.
Get Michael Collins back on the show.
We should have Michael back.
To be totally honest, it would be absolutely an appalling situation if you couldn't get your plastic toys in your
inflatable girl.
McDonald's,
yes.
in your
McDonald's toys, or
where all those ready meal toys coming from? If they come from China. Oh, shock horror gasp! Shock horror.
Yeah, we should have Michael. We'll have to ask Michael to come back on the show and talk about China.
So. I think we're due for a multinational manufacturing.
I think we're due for a Michael, and I met another gentleman, and he is a global political analyst, and he's probably going to come on the show in the next couple of weeks as well. And he's thinking about even having his own show on the channel to discuss geopolitics on a weekly basis.
Wow! All right.
Wow! Look at us! Look at us getting like we're like we're like CBS Face the Nation all of a sudden.
Time for me to hide under the desk. That's what I was always taught to do.
Well, hide under don't forget your blankie. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't forget your blankie. Always remember your blankie.
Yeah. Well, sit on the toilet, stick your head between your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye.
There you go. I like it.
Let's head into Lost and Found, shall we?
Let's Lost and Found it, David.
Welcome to this week's Lost and Found, uncovering dollar winners and losers, where we discuss dollars lost and dollars gained by various companies and projects.
We are back.
We're back.
Just John's like, oh shit, here we go. John, we're gonna just because of your enthusiasm, I think we should start with you. We'll go to Michael, then it'll come to me, and then we'll go to David because David will have some fakakta. God knows what
I got one.
Okay.
He's got it.
So the SEC approved
Bitcoin
ETFs. So I don't know if that's a dollar win or a dollar loss, because a lot of people will get the opportunity to easily invest in this. That are not very sophisticated, technologically.
Right.
We're creating a wallet.
People watch this show, John, because they want you to have an opinion on something, and now you don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So where are you going to swing to?
Yeah. So, but the other one, I don't know. I think this is it's not a dollar. In Sweden, 3 police officers were told to pay the convicted Syrian, immigrant that they arrested about 2022 in a whole bunch of riots, and they were going on in right. So they had to pay 1,100 krona each to this guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
No. Just listen, to the Swedish police, you have a very nice country, and don't arrest anybody, just shoot them. This way you don't have to pay, and just call it a day. It's a win-win situation for the planet.
So
my God.
For the cops there. Yeah, it's just sad.
So it's profitable to riot and burn things down. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, and the police will pay you after they arrest you. Hey, guess what? Our next show is going to be, everybody. Lost Dollar Business Club will be in Sweden. We'll be causing a riot. They can pay us. So, Michael, what do you have? Any riot stories? Or
well, we talk about wanting American manufacturing, and I definitely want that to be the case.
Right.
But one of the big American manufacturers, Boeing, once again, is having trouble. They had a cargo plane landing in Miami after an engine malfunction, and this is more bad news for Boeing. And it's just another sad story about a company that was once amazing and now is just struggling to be. And mainly because if you read some of the stories, it's mainly because they were too focused on profit and not focused on the thing that gets you profit, which is safety in an airplane.
Oh, you mean making a good product?
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. Right. That's the problem. Yeah. America, that's all we focus on. No one focuses on customers or anything. They just focus on money instead of like, are we doing the right thing? So that's it. So you know what? Boeing, fuck you. So get your shit together, build a plane. Because if you were on the plane, I guess it was Southwest Airlines where the door popped out in mid-flight. Lucky that nobody was sucked out of the plane.
That's right.
Because if they were sucked out of the plane, Boeing would be called whatever that family's name is, because that would be $1 billion lawsuit. So they better get their shit together. And I know they do these models that say, well, if this happens, we have to pay. But that's bullshit. It's like, why don't you just make it safe?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, this is our society is a bunch of pansy mother. Anyway.
Nothing wrong with the airplane, just bad screws.
Yeah.
Just the bad screws.
Made by Boeing.
They didn't tighten them enough.
Yeah. They didn't tighten them.
Yeah. So, and then they grounded them and they checked them all to make sure that they were tight.
They found a lot. They're not tightened.
And that's Boeing's fault when they put the plane together. But no, it's not their fault. That's ridiculous.
So for all those people who can't spell Boeing, you can start off easily by saying Airbus.
Yeah, okay, close enough. All right, so I have 2 really quick things. One is just a cute little thing that was in the 1843 magazine, part of The Economist. Sweden's polite war with Elon Musk. Unions are cheerfully preparing to fight Tesla for the next 538 years because there's all these unions and whatever. I love it because I think Tesla sucks. So I'm happy. Even though that I think it's the Y model is the #1 selling car in Sweden because they don't know. So I thought that was interesting that they're gonna fight Musk. So I'm all happy about that. And then the best article that I saw this morning in the Financial Times. How AI is decoding the animal kingdom. Scientists now are eavesdropping on animal conversations, and they're saying, well, generative AI enable us to talk back. So Dr. Doolittle is going to become a reality, and I am thrilled to death because I think that's going to be the coolest thing in the world.
Put that on my phone. Put that on my phone. I'll go out there. I live in the forest. Let's go talk.
But this article and the FT, like they're talking to elephants and lions.
Talk to your dog, huh?
No, my dog, no, not so much. I like.
I like the idea of that, but it's actually fraught with danger because maybe we will find out how cruel we are to all these animals.
boy.
Going to be talking to pigs on the way to the abattoir, or to,
Well, you're not going to talk to the animals you're going to kill.
More compassion.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to talk to the octopus because I think the octopuses aren't from here. I want to hear their whole story.
That's right.
They got like 57 brains. You know what I mean? Like I want to talk to the animals that are really smart, like dolphins, octopus, crows, that like are as smart as a 7-year-old. I mean, my dog is smart, granted. I mean, she knows how to drive. But I mean, I want to talk to other animals because I think it would be just cool to be like, tell me what you know. Talking to a shark that's maybe millions of years old, or a turtle that's 200 years old. I think that would be fascinating. So the child in me, the Dr. Doolittle aspect of it, I'm all there. To your point, I don't want to go to a slaughterhouse to talk to them. So, that's where I draw the line, I guess.
But I think if animals learn to communicate with us, Stephen, the first thing they'll have is a restraining order against you.
That's right.
Personally,
yes. So like streaming order.
So that's a found dollar then for the animals.
That's a found dollar. Yeah, I'm excited about that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll come to fruition, and we'll talk to my dog one day, and she'll say what an asshole I am. I guess, who knows? So I don't play with her enough. All right, Dave. Yeah, I try to be good to her. David.
Yeah.
We're all sitting down. Everybody that's driving the cars, listening to the podcast, have probably pulled over to the side of the road. What phenomenal lost or found thing do you have for us today?
Well, I've got a little film for you.
Of course you do.
Wow, that's eerie music.
The music alone.
So
hopefully that music makes it through YouTube.
Yeah, well, it is. I added the music to it.
So for people that are listening, basically it's a condom for your finger, or a prophylactic, if you will. And so when you touch a touch screen, your finger won't get the germs that have already been there.
That's right.
And then you take your prophylactic and you throw it away, and then we can create more garbage on a planet that already has too much more garbage. No. So yeah.
Well, the thing about this is a strange thing, right? So this is a Swedish startup called Paptrek, I think it's called.
There it is.
And I'm stuck between the devil in a hard place on this one. Because on the one side, I understand why people who've got, don't like touching stuff, etc.
Paranoid. Paranoid.
That has a real function. But the other thing, I just think to myself, I'm slightly concerned about the people who designed it. Because, there's a lot of mortgages resting on this, I'm sure.
You know what? They have AI girlfriends. That's who designed it. The guys who designed this have AI girlfriends. They never leave their house.
These automatic machines, they dish out 2,100 covers before they need reloading. And many years ago, I used to work for a company selling toilet paper and that sort of stuff. And they would all give away their dispensers for free. And at the beginning, I never understood why they did it. But basically, toilet roll dispensers eat paper. And so their business model really was purchasing toilet paper and putting them in the machine. So this thing is going to be about $250, including the dispenser. And I just wonder, if they give the dispenser away, would they, would after the first run, hey, that's great, let's do that trendy office, will anybody ever want to refill that again?
Yes, because we have a planet full of germaphobes that have to jerk off to their AI girlfriend. Of course they're going to use it because these people don't go out there. Everyone's afraid of everything.
This is why people get sick. Yeah. Because they think that you can insulate yourself from reality.
Yeah. Just go. It's like I see people still on the airplane wearing masks. I'm like, what the hell?
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
So the thing is, guys, right? I'm very agnostic about this, so I'd just like to take a vote. Is it a found dollar for this company? Are they going to make an absolute mint, selling it to restaurants and coffee bars and companies?
No, it's going to be a found dollar for them. I think it's going to be a found dollar for them.
I think it's lost. I don't think globally it's going to.
John,
maybe China,
okay,
in
John,
Asia it will be big.
I think
John, you have to. John has a casting vote.
I'm going to say that initially they make money selling the initial first sort of fad,
Wave.
interesting, and then it just like it'll die off.
Yeah, nobody refills it. Nobody refills
it. Yeah,
a prophylactic for your finger.
Your finger.
Only good for high school students. Anyway, so
I'm just wondering. It might be. No, it won't be. No.
All right.
Even the guy with an AI girlfriend, the AI girlfriend is telling him he's a loser right now. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Even the AI girlfriend's going, "You're a loser."
The thing that I'm concerned about is if you put that in a high school somewhere, that won't just be fingers that get put in that machine, will it?
Oh no.
So
that's why they say it's finger looking good at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Don't miss all the new shows that are coming out this week and next week. You can go to our playlist on our channel, and we'll put some of them below, and some of them will have appeared on while we've been talking. If you'd like to be a guest and you have something of worth, reach out to us. If not, I think Michael Collins. I think next week we have Gandalf on again to talk about blockchain.
That's right.
Harry. Yeah, I think we have some other guests coming up over the next couple of weeks as well. So please watch every Saturday, and we want to thank you all. Have a great rest of your week, and don't miss Vicky in real life. Don't miss the Scotch reviews on Friday. Don't miss AI show coming in a couple of weeks, and the dog show I think is next Sunday. So there you go. Welcome to our channel.
Busy.
Busy. Cheers, everybody.